Hi, this is Scott Stork with Polaris Law Group, estate planning and elder law attorneys. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about estate planning and second marriages. So had a potential client call and they're in a second marriage. Both spouses have been divorced and they were concerned about how they can leave their inheritance to each of their kids, because they've each come into the marriage with kids from previous relationships. They've each come into the marriage with some property and assets and things like that that they had before they got married together. And so one of the challenges that we face when we're dealing with second marriages is how that all looks, because there's a lot of things that second marriages face that first marriages and things like that don't have to take into account. So kind of the first thing is you're together in a second marriage, you've each brought assets into this, you've got these kids that are each of yours, and while you kind of love your stepkids and things like that, it's not necessarily the same as how you would treat your own children. And so one of the challenges is you've got kind of your separate your separate finances, your separate things that you've brought into this, and when you pass away, you obviously want to provide for the surviving spouse, right? Even though it's a second marriage, you're providing for that husband or wife after you pass away. The challenge is doing that and making sure that even when you leave things to your new spouse, that they don't either accidentally or intentionally disinherit your kids after they pass away. So, for instance, let's say you just own things jointly with your spouse in this second marriage, but you've each got kids from the previous marriage, and now when one of you passes away, then that spouse owns everything. Well, you hate to say it, but they could actually just choose to leave things to their children and not leave anything to your kids at all. And so that's one of the big sticking points we see a lot of times in second marriages, and a lot of the planning that we do with that deals with that issue. And so when we're doing that, we create trusts very often, almost exclusively, because what we're able to do is leave a pot for that surviving spouse that they can draw from, they're able to use if they need to, but then when they pass away, then it can be split amongst the kids equally or unequally, or however you and your new spouse choose to do it, or however you choose to do it when you're creating this trust. And so proper estate planning in second marriages is a huge deal. It is it's a very specific type of planning, and you want to make sure that you work with someone who knows how to do it, who's aware of all of the potential landmines and tripwires and things like that that are there, that is going to lead you down the right path. And so if you'd like to talk about that, if that kind of situation is something you're facing, we'd be happy to speak with you. If you'd like to schedule an appointment with us, you can visit our website at www.polarisplans.com. You can call our office at 636-757-3850 and ask to schedule a consultation, and we'd be happy to sit down and chat with you about that. Thanks for listening.